race fans, welcome to Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park for the first day of 2 here at this racetrack, IRP, the famed track just west of Indianapolis, for the Carb Night Classic. And 2 of the events we'll have here this weekend, of course, USF 2000 and the Freedom 75, and USF Pro 2000 and the Freedom 90. As you can see, if you've watched online at all, it is a colder day here today. 54 degrees trackside right now. We've battled with some rain. We've had sessions stop. We've been able to flip-flop back and forth, finally getting some track time for the drivers in USF Pro 2000 and USF 2000. But now it's time for single car qualifying. If you're new to oval racing as part of the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire, this is a unique discipline. This racetrack, 5/8 of a mile in length, qualifying much different. Not one of these 20-minute sessions where you go out, bang out your best lap, and hopefully at the very end, you're able to get that lap time you need to set the grid. It is 2 laps. That's all they get. Out of the racetrack, come around, 1 warm-up lap, 2-lap qualifying. And it's not just the fastest lap, it's your 2-lap average as well. You got to put in 2 good ones to find out where you're going to start on the racetrack here. We talked to our drivers a lot about the fact that if you start up front, you're very likely going to finish up front. A majority of the drivers who win here as part of the both Freedom races start somewhere in the front 2 rows, often the pole sitter coming away with the victory. This is not a track that's easy to pass on. Qualifying is so unbelievably crucial here for both the Freedom 75 and Freedom 90. As I had said before, single car qualifying set to go. We flip them back and forth. It's the guy, point leader at the very back, waiting to get his qualifying run. He'll be the last driver onto the racetrack. This is exciting, about as exciting as it gets when it comes to oval racing. Those drivers getting ready to go. We come back after this quick break, folks. Qualifying for USF Pro 2000.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And to handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. My name is Rob Howden, getting set to go for single car qualifying for USF Pro 2000. And indeed, a championship battle being waged in this one. Max Garcia, of course, the driver out front in the Pro 2000 category with, again, a solid run on the season so far. Nothing but top 5 finishes, a couple of wins, 5 podiums on the day. And indeed, we were expecting to go with USF 2000 first for qualifying, but dealing with the weather and trying to make sure that everybody got enough lap times. The weather was inclement. We weren't sure what was going to happen. The initial test session today, USF Pro 2000 didn't get their full run, so we brought them right back out with the next session after we had a bit of a rain delay. It all ends up making sure that we spaced everybody just in case something were to happen in the second set of test sessions. We decided to flip-flop and lead this single-car qualifying run with USF Pro 2000. 18 drivers in the field here this weekend, and we will start in order, reverse order, of the point standings. So the driver who made his debut at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course, Brady Golan, for Turn 3 Motorsports, is the driver on the racetrack right now. And again, we'll do our best to give you the either average speed, average time, or 2-lap total time. See what we get from live timing here. 1 lap in the books, and then Golan slowing down the back straightaway. So only got the 1 lap in at a 19.937. Then he comes into pit lane, so not sure what happened there for Golan. Rolling out on track right now. Next will be Carson Eder for Exclusive Autosport. Eder in the number 92 machine out of Villa Park, California. The Priority Workforce GATC Health machine. Drivers come out of pit lane. Roll back around. They'll get 1 full warm-up lap. So then they get back around, they got 1 full warm-up lap to build as much heat as they can into these Continental tires. Eder down the back straightaway. Official IndyCar flagman Aaron Likens up on the stand for us here this weekend. Green flag will fly. First of 2 runs here for Carson Etter in the number 92. Top side of the racetrack. Out of 2 down into turn number 3. Drivers, of course, running the high line around the racetrack here. Things will change tomorrow, as we know, when the USAC Silver Crown and midget cars get out here to lay a bunch of rubber down. They don't really affect our high line because we run up top, but definitely affecting the way that they roll out of the corner, and potentially if they're going down to the bottom, trying to make an overtake. Etter a 20.532 his first lap. He'll come across the line as well. P2 here. Next driver on the racetrack here, number 83, Fat Boy Racing, 61-year-old Charles Finelli. And Finelli was impressive earlier today. P12, veteran driver coming up through running F2000 races. Let's see what he's able to do here. Can he match the time he was able to get in that, of course, extended 45-minute test session? Lots of time to find speed there, dial the car in. This is when you have to get it done, though, on sticker, cold Continentals. So Golden, the quickest so far, 124.157 mile per hour. Again, 2-lap average. Total time speed. Speed goes for Finelli, 123.496 miles per hour for Charles Finelli. Back by about 0.6 of a mile per hour from Brady Golan. I said he only got the 1 lap in. My live timing was just messed up a little bit. Golan, Finelli, and Carson Etter, your current top 3. Again, just rolling through the reverse order of the points right now. What that means is that Max Garcia, your USF 2000 champion from last year, at the tail end, be the last driver out onto the racetrack in that number 18 car with the USF Pro Championship scholarship livery on it. And test session number 2 was actually Nicholas Monteiro on top with Alessandro DiTullio in second. Turn 3 Motorsport put 2 cars on top. Garcia a little further down in the 5th position. Golan was actually 6th. Brady Golan, who, as I said before, made his debut. Started the season off in USF 2000, his second year in that program, electing to jump up into Pro 2000, moving over to Turn 3 Motorsports. Quite a bit of silly season action here in that category. Great qualifying run, though, there for Charles Finelli, as we said. 123.496 miles per hour. Oh, we got a driver in the wall. I didn't see it. He into the wall. Big hit there. That is the number 4 of Tanner DeFabus, last year's winner in USF 2000. Has walled it hard in turn number 1 and 2. I had to look down and look back up, and there he was in the wall. So not sure what happened to Tanner DeFabus there. Just not able to get a replay on this one. I'm being informed, so we're not going to get another chance to see that. But, man, that is a big hit. You can see the rear damage on the car. The AMR IndyCar safety team there very quickly. Again, one of the core components of the safety level we have here in the USF Pro Championships. I'm going to quickly try this here. I've got the YouTube channel up in front of me right now. We're going to see if we can't pull it off and have a look at it as well, but I'm going to have a quick look here. We'll get a look at it. Again, they're going to call it in a bit here, but I'll have a look as we're watching him come through. Again, those of you who are watching on YouTube can rewind yourself, obviously. Tanner coming across the line. Rolls into turn number 1. Watching him get the heat built up into the tires here as he rolls down the backstreet again. We're going to see what we can to get you guys a replay. Again, those of you who are at home anyways, if you're watching on the YouTube, all you got to do is change it or go back and look at it. I'm watching it myself here as he works his way through. Yeah, just loses the rear end of the car. It twitches and he goes up to the wall. There you have it there, folks. You can see. So, yeah, just got into the corner there, a little too deep. Tried to carry the speed, and just a little wiggle as he got into the mid-corner. Lost the rear, corrected, and back up into the wall again. Tough one there for Tanner. Yeah, as I look back at it again, kind of midway through the track, wasn't really running the top line of the racetrack, was more midline. Man, and that is a big wreck. I'll tell you that right now, because I want to say literally broke the bell housing and the rear end off the back of the motor. So, indeed, the work continuing, of course, here to get things cleaned up there with the car of Tanner DeFabus. And, again, that is tough. That's going to be work to be done if they're going to get him back on the racetrack tomorrow. Big hit coming down there, as you all saw. And, indeed, as we head here to the oval, there is track time tomorrow as well. And I'll just throw this out there. Obviously, we have our single car qualifying here. Everybody getting that one, those 2 laps in. It's a tough opportunity to put yourself where you need to be. But 4:30 tomorrow, we have a 15-minute practice session for USF 2000 first. 4:50, a 15-minute practice session as well for the Pro 2000 drivers. So, they're going to be able to put in 35, 40, 50 laps if they want them. Again, just getting a feel for the race car. You've qualified the car, and it's a bit of a different trim as we know, but obviously getting that race car where you want it to go for the 75 or 90-lap main event, whichever series you're in. That's still going to be a good session. And listen, if they're able to get this car back together for Tanner DeFabus and he's able to get back out and on track, he's going to need that 15-minute session to reset, get that confidence back where it needs to be. He was 3rd, I believe, in test session number 1, 10th in test session number 2. So the speed was there for Tanner. And, of course, the driver who scored the USF 2000 Freedom 75 win last year from nearby Avon, Indiana. The driver, again, this was the one, I think, one of the events that he circled and said, hey, listen, I'm really looking forward to that race for sure. Again, like I said, I just rolled all that corner speed into the turn 1-2 corner. I feel like he may have been a little low on the racetrack. We had our oval clinic earlier today where Rahal Leonard-Lanigan driver Louis Foster, Salvador de Alba from Andretti Global, and Michael D'Orlando, who, of course, 2-time winner of the Freedom 75. Foster and de Alba, both winners in the Freedom 90. They were the expert panelist, and they brought a lot of insight for the young drivers. And one of them was, listen, you race as high as you can on the racetrack. It's either the top lane or if you're trying to pass somebody, your second lane. Progressive banking here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, so you just got to make sure that as you're coming down, you're losing that banking. And those of you, of course, who are watching here on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel, I'm sure, jump back to have a look at that. We were able to get the replay for you and kind of talk our way through that. Just lost. You got in the mid-corner. You could just see it kind of getting away. The overcorrection bit. Car went straight up into the wall, and just the angle of impact was tough. like I said, that broke that car in half to a certain extent. So they're doing, look, you can see they've got it hooked up on the roll hoop. They've got it hooked up on the rear end of the car as well, on the attenuator and the wing assembly. That split that car in half. And when you do that, obviously you can see they're going to work on the speedy dry here because there's going to be fluids that come out of the bottom of that race car. So again, shout out to those of you. I'm scrolling through this chat here on the YouTube channel, or whether you're potentially watching on your mobile app. If you haven't downloaded the USF Pro Championship mobile app, do that so you can not miss a single qualifying lap, not a lap throughout the entire season. I know Kat Nickel watching her and Jason down in Speedway right now. They were here earlier today, but heading back down into Speedway, so they're watching on the phone. So 3 drivers were able to get times in. The rest ready to go. Fastest time so far, Brady Golan, 124.157 miles per hour. Charles Finelli, as I said, very impressive in the test session, able to lay down a 2-lap average speed of 123.496 miles an hour. Carson Etter, 120.931 miles an hour. There's the machine right there of Tanner DeFavis. At number 4, not looking good right now. That is for sure. They're going to bring that car to the infield of this racetrack, and then, actually, no, I'm going to say they may take him right back to the paddock, but I think they're maybe going to bring him to the infield now. It's either a left turn into the infield or a right turn into the paddock area. And it's coming to the infield. The rest of the drivers, of course, having to keep their mental focus. Looks to me like the first 6 drivers to go out are in the car. The remaining, like 8 or 9, not in the car yet, kind of relaxing here. We're going to see Tyke Durst roll out next. Durst in the 33 from Charlotte, North Carolina for Turn 3 Motorsports, the FHI Relay Payments Drive Toward a Cure machine. Following Durst will be George Garcia Arce for D-Force Racing in the number 10 Guadalajara Tucane Scarch machine. Guadalajara, Mexico, the hometown for Garcia Arce. After that, we'll go to the first of 3 drivers for TJ Speed Motorsports. Sebastian Manson, the rookie driver, getting ready for his first run, his first attempt at 2-lap qualifying. Single car qualifying is something different, folks. Again, they get out here a half a lap to essentially come up to speed, full warm-up lap, and then they got to put down 2 good ones. And again, talking about the Oval Clinic this morning, Foster, DeAlba, and DeOrlando talking about qualifying. That was a section that we talked about a lot. It was about qualifying, how important it is here. You know, if you look at the results from this event here at IRP, more often than not, the winners are coming from the top 3. Maybe top 4. I think we had a driver winning from 6th a couple of years ago. But if you're on pole or in the front row, this is a very good opportunity. You got a race car that's going to be able to go the distance and come away with a win. Again, this is not a track where everybody's within a couple of tenths of a second. A lot of the times, you know, anywhere between 6-7 tenths and maybe a second or more separate the field. So you're going to get lap traffic. It just, if we have a long, extended green flag run, it does spread out in a big way. So qualifying is crucial. It's a tough place to pass, as we know. So getting that fast time laid down in that 2-lap qualifying, so important. So there you go, Tyke Durst rolling on track. You can see the Continental Tire stickers spinning around the front tires, that Turn 3 machine. We often look at that warm-up time, you know, how fast are they able to get up to speed on that warm-up lap. Durst down into Turn 3 and 4. Again, you're dancing early because those tires have no heat at all, but you're trying to push them as much as you can. Tyke was 13th last year in the Freedom 90. Rookie driver in the program. He's back as a sophomore. He'll be looking for a top 10. No doubt about that. All right, Tyke Durst rolling. First speed in. Tyke will roll down the back straightaway. Looks like 118.689 miles per hour. I know he would have liked a little bit more than that. Tyke was 16th earlier in the practice session. Can he find some more speed in the second run? It goes a little bit quicker. Still P4. On to the racetrack now, George Garce-Arce. As we're just getting things going, as I said, you look at the lap times there. 124.157 mile per hour for Golan, 123.496 miles per hour for Finelli. Carson Eder and Tyke Durst third and fourth. Garce-Arce rolling here now. Garce-Arce now on the clock, down the back straightaway. Single Mexican driver we have here in USF Pro this year. Couple in USF 2000 here this weekend. White flag flying for Garce-Arce. Where's that first lap going to slot him in? 117.621. Quite a ways off the time there for Brady Golan, who has 124.157. Golan still holding on to provisional pole here. Early in the run, but Golan was sixth in the opening session, in the second test session. So the speed is there for Golan. It's at a good pace. Across the line, Garce-Arce able to go just a little bit quicker. Laid down a 119.8066, two-lap average, 118.339 miles per hour. Think about the drivers, of course, who have won this Freedom 90 before, as Sebastian Manson taking to the track, the New Zealander in the Manson TCLM Limited Ted Manson Foundation TJ Speed Motorsports number 28. Braden East, of course, dominated the action last year. But you look at the drivers last couple of years, Salvador de Alba, Louis Foster in 22, Christian Rasmussen 21. Foster and Rasmussen going to be running in the Indianapolis 500 on Sunday. De Alba, front runner this year in Indy next. Further back in 2020 was that amazing USF Pro 2000 debut for Cody Swanson, multi-time USAC Silver Crown champion. He schooled him, really ran the top rail hard, and it was impressive for Cody Swanson. Back in 2019, Daniel Frost, 2018, Parker Thompson. Some kid named Pato O'Ward won back in 2016. Wonder where he went. Maybe to the outside of the front row for the 500. Pato starting P3 in his McLaren machine on Sunday, looking for that victory. Oh, so close last year. Manson lays down his first lap of 118.587 miles per hour. He'll have to pick things up here, rolling through four. On the loud pedal for sure. How much has he improved? Lap number 2. Very similar. 118.587. P6 for Sebastian Manson. Big lap there for Brady Golan, was it not? Those of you joining us late, hard impact in turn number 2 after a wiggle mid-corner for Tanner DeFabus, last year's USF 2000 winner. That car currently sitting in the middle of the pit area here, middle of the racetrack, broken in half. Just the angle where he hit the right front, then snapped back and hit the left. Broke the bell housing on that machine. It cracked it in half. They have work to do at Jay Howard Driver Development. On to the racetrack now. Driver in 11th place in points here, Joey Brienza, the rookie. In fact, rookie of the year last year in USF 2000. Brienza in the number 91 of the Golden, Colorado for Exclusive Autosport, the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, UBS. Tatis IP22. Getting back on that throttle top side. Got to trust the race car here. That was a big thing we got from the Oval Clinic. You have to believe in your car, the grip, and you have to drive it in and understand it. You have to feel it. Top side is fast. Little wiggle coming out of 4 for Brienza. Right now it's Golan, Finelli, Eder, Garcia-Arce, and Durst. Brienza, 119.876 mile per hour. Where does he end up here? Brienza was actually 18th slowest of the drivers in the second test session. He goes a bit quicker, and will stand on a 119.511. So Brienza currently P5. Working our way up the order. Let's go all the way to the Pacific Northwest, Portland, Oregon. In the Helmet House, Turn 3 Motorsports machine, Cooper Becklin coming off a podium finish on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He's pushing. Big front wiggle. You saw it there. You can see how much higher. If you watch Tanner DeFabus, you go back and look at that. He was at least a half a car width lower on the racetrack. Probably asking just a little too much on those Continental tires on the opening laps. Again, it's all about building the heat in these tires, getting it where it wants to be. It is cool here trackside, too. I don't know if I mentioned that off the gate. It is not a 70-degree. Look at that. Again, same thing there. A little trouble there. But he holds on to it. 57 degrees right now here trackside, and there is a significant wind that's coming out of 4 down to 1. White flag now. Becklin slotting into 6th, 119.421 miles per hour. Cooper Becklin. Hopefully you got a feel for the car here on lap number 2, and you can drop it down. Everybody's been going pretty quick here on lap number 2. Becklin going to roll the top. What's he got here? Currently in the 6th spot. Does he improve? He does. He'll go up to 4th, able to jump over both Brienza and Manson. Becklin a quicker 119.421. 119.783 miles per hour. For some of these drivers, it's not having the drop-off into the second run. The Turn 3 cars keep coming. Peter and Mandy Dempsey, of course, winning the championship last year with Lockie Hughes, coming off his first victory in Indy Next with Andretti Global. 5 drivers in the white and blue of Turn 3 here this weekend. Number 22 of Nicholas Monteiro joined the team at IMS for the road course race. He was the fastest in test number 2. Monteiro is quick out of Miami, Florida, by the way of Sao Paulo, Brazil, in the Peg Card Turn 3 Motorsports machine. We're expecting big speed here out of Monteiro. Working the top side. You can see those gloves working in there as well. He's down the back chute. Again, like I talk about, that 45-minute test session, you're able to push hard to get that fast lap. It is so much different getting it done here on a one-lapper. Does he have anything for Brady Golan? He'll go P3 on the opening lap, 122.205. Golan still holding on to the spot up top. Any more out of this Turn 3 car for Monteiro? 122.205. Yeah, he'll go quicker, 122.854. Still holding on to a third spot. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Finelli is second right now. Finelli, P2. The speed secret, a nice lounge chair in the paddock, a cigar, and a glass of bourbon. 61 years of age. Charles has been running with us for a while. He laid down 123.496 miles per hour. Wow. Charles Finelli, I love it. Currently P2. Lots of big guns still to come. Jace Denmark, he's been on the podium here before at IRP. TJ Speed Motorsports driver. In fact, he lives here in Brownsburg. 100% focus on the racing career. Moved from Phoenix, Arizona, out here to Brownsburg to work on the program in the three-dimensional TJ Speed machine. What's Jace Denmark got here? His first lap coming in. Test session number 2. Denmark further back in 14th. We'll see if he's able to find some speed here using that experience. He'll go P5 on the opening lap, 120.443. Through 3 and 4 to cap off his 2-lap run. Definitely making some room here. Denmark's going to go up to P4, 121.248 miles per hour. Denmark into the 4th position. Finelli still P2. Brady going on top. 10 drivers down. 8 still to come. In fact, only 7 still to come, I believe, because we didn't get that lap time, of course, for Tanner DeFabus after his incident in turn number 2. Top 7 in points still to come. Michael Costello, Max Taylor, Jacob Douglas, Matt Clark, Ariel Elkin, Alessandro DiTullio, and your point leader, Max Garcia, still to come. But nonetheless, impressive 2-lap run for Charles Finelli, the 61-year-old, getting it done. Here comes the 20 of Costello, coming off a podium finish at Indianapolis. He's bookended the season so far with 2 third-place finishes. 3rd in the opening round at St. Petersburg, 3rd just a couple of weeks ago on the road course at IMS. Jumping up from USF 2000 last year. Costello now on the clock. The number 20 for the driver at Naples, Florida. The ProGuard Automotive, EDA Eyewear. Yeah, he's on the throttle nicely. Here comes the white flag. Where is he going to slot in? Call it 6th for Costello. P6 on the opening run. He was 7th. Still lots of guys to come, though. He's going to need a big lap here. He'll be our 12th driver. Oh, right up to the wall coming out of the corner. Costello through to cap off his qualifying run. He goes quicker. He does. Up to P4, 121.802 miles per hour. So a solid second run there to move him up a couple of spots. Your top 5 now, Golan, Finelli, Monteiro, Costello, and Denmark. Your current Fast 5. Those of you watching on the USF Pro Championship YouTube channel, what do you think about Charles Finelli? How you like this? Putting the lap down. Max Taylor now onto the racetrack at the number 88 out of Hoboken, New Jersey for VRD Racing in the pink Susan G. Komen Foundation Unicorn Tatus. Great run to the top 10 at Barber Motorsports Park in his Indy Next debut. He'll run a couple more Indy Next races. The USF Juniors champion from 2024. Won a number of races in USF 2000 as well. A calculated move to USF Pro 2000 here in 2025. We'll see him very likely in a full-time Indy Next program in 26. Testing the waters this year. Very strong at Barber. Golan still on top, though. 124.157 for Brady Golan. Max Taylor now on the clock. Currently 6th place in points. A couple of third-place finishes. 5 top 5s on the season. Looking for that first victory. Big weekend, as we know, as the points haul here, 1.5, as Taylor slows it up. How about P1? Not by much. Looking at the speeds there on live timing, 124.108 to Golan's 124.157. That would indicate that Golan's still better lap average. Now, I'll say this, whatever you're seeing on live timing, that is unofficial. Doesn't seem to me like maybe that's sorting out correctly. The speed they're grabbing may potentially not be the overall 2-lap average speed. I look at the right side of the screen, it's 124.659 to Golan's 124.449. So I think maybe we're grabbing from the wrong column there for what we're seeing on top. Because, yeah, Taylor's 124.106. I believe it may be a 124.659. I'll call off this other column here for you. Regardless, Max Taylor, driver on top now. Taylor, Golan, Finelli, Montero, and Costello. Jacob Douglas, another driver scoring his first victory of the season at Indianapolis. The Kiwi on the racetrack now. Douglas from Christchurch, New Zealand, in the Douglas Fay Group. Fleet Cost and Care, Tatis IP22, pushing hard on top. Great to have him back here as well. His first time slotting him in to 10th. Jacob was 9th in test session number 2. Full 45 minutes there. Where does he slot in here? Moving up to P5, good. Second lap, 2-lap average. Looks to me like 123.191 miles per hour, so just behind Monteiro. Charles Finelli still holding P3. Charles down there on pit lane. Man, good stuff. Out on the racetrack now, former winner here in the USF 2000 program. Out of Milton, Ontario, Canada, in the Corpay Cross Border Solutions Clubine Motorsports, number 90, it's Matt Clark. Exclusive has had a run here at this particular race. If you've followed us, they've won the last 3 in a row, and then you can go back to Daniel Frost in 2019 and Parker Thompson in 2018. They've won 5 times here in this USF Pro 2000 category, this Freedom 90. Big slider out of turn number 4 for Clark as he's on the throttle. But that's the start of your first lap. I don't know if that's how much that's going to hurt. He was on the throttle big time, trying to get heat into those rear tires. See what kind of an opening lap we get for Matt Clark. Much more planted coming through turn number 4 this time by. Where's the first lap? How about P2? 124.586 miles per hour. Clark to second. How much can he dig in? How much more speed can he roll up through turns 3 and 4? Is it enough? It is. 125.748 miles per hour. And again, what you see on live timing, what I'm saying is obviously unofficial. We'll go straight to the timings and scoring when it's all said and done, get the right numbers, but this is what we're seeing in front of me here. Clark, Taylor, Golan, Finelli, Montero, top 5. 125.748 miles per hour. Big lap there, and I'll tell you, that was a tank slapper coming out of 4 to start that one. Driver rolling out here right now. Most impressive at Indianapolis. 2 wins for the driver out of Israel. For TJ Speed, Ariel Elkin. 18th in the opening round at St. Petersburg after a big wreck there. Was not able to start race number 2 on the streets of St. Pete. They weren't able to get the car put back together, so he starts it off with barely any points. 5th, 3rd, and 5th at NOLA. 1st, 5th, and 1st at Indianapolis. And Ariel Elkin finds himself in 3rd, just 2 points behind DeTulio and 3 points in front of Matt Clark. Championship just starting to heat up here. What does Ariel Elkin have here? He'll go to 4th on the opening lap. P4. 124.312 miles per hour. Good speed there for the TJ Speed driver. And he goes right to the top, smoking fast second lap. I believe Ariel Elkin to P1 with a 125.994. And again, that may be just the second fast lap, but it is the quickest, the 125.994. Ariel Elkin to the top. Matt Clark goes to second. 2 more drivers still to come to cap off qualifying here. And it is the top 2 drivers. They've got 5 wins split between them. Alessandro DeTulio rolling out right now in the 44 to Miami, Florida in the Astro Pay Turn 3 Motorsports Tatis. DeTulio his first run here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Ariel Elkin on top, rolling off the momentum of those 2 wins at IMS. Clark second, Taylor third, Golden fourth, Finelli miraculously P5. Very impressive for Charles. DeTulio now on the clock. ADT down the back straightaway. Again, big wins. 3 of the first 4, but a 15th and a 9th at IMS. Bad luck found him. A couple maybe on-track mistakes. Where is he in the opening lap? How about P6 for the Turn 3 Motorsport driver? He'll need a big lap here. First one, a 123.825. Where does he end up? Oh, my goodness. P1. 126.103. DeTulio to the top. That was a big lap. He found a ton of time. Wow, that is unbelievably fast. Again, like I said, 126.103 was a 123. Again, I don't know whether we're sorting them correctly here. The one column says 124.954. If that is indeed his 2-lap average, and that's not sorting correctly, there's a potential that Matt Clark could still be P1 with a 125.164 miles per hour, Elkin with a 125.147. So again, like I said, these times I'm saying are unofficial until we actually get the results from timing and scoring. It could be sorting by the wrong time. So that's all I want to say right now. Because it could be Matt Clark at a 125.164. That feels like maybe it's more of the average speed. Final driver on the racetrack, though, current point leader, and by a lot. He has 57 points on the field out of Coconut Grove, Florida. White flag being shown to Max Garcia, the Pabst Racing driver. In the number 18, opening lap, a 124.654. That's a big lap. Remember, we're talking about 2-lap average or 2-lap total time. Checker flag coming across the line. Where does Garcia go? Your point leader. Waiting for it to drop. It is not yet in front of me. 124.652. I'm going to refresh. And it looks to me like he ends up with a 124.652. Now, if I go right side of the screen, it's 126.103 for Alessandro DeTulio, but that may have been his fast lap. If I go left side of the screen, it's 125.164 for Matt Clark. So I don't know exactly how it's going to shake down. Again, I don't know that I was presented here on live timing, or you at home who are watching it on the USFPro2000.com page of live time, and you can see what I'm talking about. So it's either DeTulio or Matt Clark. We'll see how it shakes out when it's all said and done. But nonetheless, big laps for, let's just go with DeTulio right now. Elkin, Clark, Taylor, and Garcia. Got somebody else dropping me in here. Let me see what I got here. Yeah, if I look, and this is Brady Neves just gave me a text. Perfect. If I look at actual total queue time as opposed to speed, again, how many drivers? We had a number of drivers that were able to get down into the 39s. I only have the one time down here for Max Garcia, but total time, the fastest total time, and we'll go with that potentially right now, would be Matt Clark, a 39.4618. I think Matt Clark potentially on the pole. So that would be a big one for Matt Clark if he is on the pole position. I believe he may indeed be there. Big one for Matt Clark on top. Good stuff. Indeed, getting a confirmation from Tammy Valkoski, our communications director here. So 2-lap total time, and it's not sorting by that. You got to do a bit of work here, Rob. So 2-lap total time, 39.4618 for Matt Clark. A 39.4671 for Ariel Elkin. That will be second. 49.528 DeTulio third. 39.781 Brady Golan, I believe, in 4th. So indeed, some messy stuff here for live timing, those of you watching at home, but being confirmed by our communications director, Tammy Valkoski. Matt Clark earning the pole position for the Freedom 90. The exclusive Autosport driver on top, Ariel Elkin second, Alessandro DiTullio in third. And I believe it is going to be Brady Golan in 4th. Very likely Max Taylor 5th and Charles Finelli in 6th. So DiTullio had the fast lap at a 126.103, but remember his first lap was a 123 something, so the speed just wasn't there. So nonetheless, wild qualifying session here. We'll know that when USF 2000 rolls out. We'll key more on to the 2-lap time on live timing here, though it's not sorting correctly. We'll see if we can get that updated here before we go USF 2000. Otherwise, USF 2000 is scheduled to start here in a couple of minutes. So these USF Pro 2000 drivers are going to head back to the paddock, the pit area. We'll bring the USF 2000 drivers out. Folks, we're back-to-back qualifying. Freedom 90 is done. In terms of 2-lap single-car qualifying, Matt Clark, the Canadian, on the pole for exclusive Autosport. USF 2000 coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And to handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams a reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
The USF Pro Championships is really the development level for drivers coming out of karting to move their way to the NTT IndyCar Series. The whole concept is we teach them everything they need to know all the way up the ranks.
The USF Pro Championships, it's North American Open Wheel Racing's version of college sports. Got 3 tiers to it, which is pretty important. This whole thing is geared to go upwards and really define who the next stars happen to be.
There's so many drivers that come into the sport and maybe don't have the financial resources to make it all the way to the big time, right? All the way to IndyCar. The scholarship program provides a monetary award that goes to a driver winning the championship that allows them to move up to the next level. So if you win a championship, you win the money you need to go racing in the next level.
A number of drivers in IndyCar today have used the ladder system to gain experience and to gain funding via the scholarships to pay for the next level.
The USF Pro Championship helped me get to this spot in my career because of the many opportunities that it creates.
It was massive for me. The scholarships that are implemented are crucial for drivers. That was my lifeline all the way to IndyCar, and it's a big reason why I made it.
It's very unique, you know. We have the opportunity to win our way to IndyCar, basically, and some guys have done that.
The USF Pro Championships really helped me to get where I am today. You get so much racing on IndyCar tracks. You get ovals too, which for a European guy, that's something that's very useful.
This series is a smooth way of adding new developments into my career, and
new aspects of it. Like it's a smooth way of learning how to grow as a driver.
It has a great reputation. The competition level is amazing. It just gives drivers a great opportunity to advance.
The field here is really, really intense. I mean, people are down to the hundreds of thousands a second.
It's a great development series, and I think it's somewhere that you should be if you want to be going to IndyCar.
You know, one of the key factors in the USF Pro Championship that we always focus on is the level of safety. You know, back in 2022, we introduced the Halo to the car, which has increased the level of safety dramatically. And again, we're one of the only series that runs that in the junior level. And that's the key for us, is to make sure we take care of our drivers. Number one, on the racetrack. Number two, with the Halo. But number three, of course, with the AMR IndyCar safety team as well. Just like IndyCar has a dedicated crew of people that when there's an incident, they're the ones that arrive on scene the first time. They're with us as well. They know our race cars, they know our drivers. So when they get there, in the event there is an incident, we make sure they're completely taken care of.
So for the safety in our series, we follow IndyCar pretty much on all the safety standards as far as drivers' helmets, harness devices, suit requirements. We follow the IndyCar, and the reason for that, because we want to be the best out there. We want to be the safest. We want a mum and a dad to know their son, their daughter is in the car, and they're absolutely the safest they can be.
They always think of safety first, and now every car has Halo, so if there's any flying debris or if you flip, you know 100% that you're going to be safe. I had a big crash, Freedom 100, 2019 back in Indy Next, and before my car even stopped rolling, I already had an AMR safety guy in the car saying, "Hey, are you okay?"
Well, having started out as a racing dad, I know full well the concerns of a parent to make sure that we protect their kid. And we are very safety conscious in the USF Pro Championships.
When racers come to run with the USF Pro Championships, they're trying to become professional drivers, as we know, and they're trying to get exposure for what they've done, right? Not only do we teach them in terms of the media side, but they're really hoping for exposure through what we do. All of our races, of course, live on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel. We have a downloadable app as well that fans can watch all of the races, the documentary, the climb that we put out, all the live timing, all on the app. So the exposure is there that they're able to leverage. If they have a sponsor or a prospective partner, an investor who's not here trackside, they're able to watch all the racing throughout the year. It's all about giving these kids as much exposure as possible, and there's not another junior formula program in North America that has the kind of exposure at the level that we have here in the USF Pro Championships.
We're rubbing elbows. We're on the same race weekends as IndyCar. And so it helps for those young drivers to look up and see those guys running at the top level like I am now.
Being in the presence of the organization that is IndyCar, you're obviously not racing in the series, but you're racing with it.
We create our schedule to be as much as possible on IndyCar weekends. The IndyCar series is always looking for young talent. They've moved a lot of our kids into the upper levels, and we need to race in front of them.
The IndyCar team owners do pay attention to what's going on the ladder, and that's important for the drivers. But it's a good way to get and learn exactly what goes into a race weekend.
They really made sure to show the importance of social media and posting, and to get well at talking in front of crowds and talking in front of big places.
It's extremely international now, which hasn't always been the case. You're racing against guys that will be future IndyCar race winners, race champions, and so it's a very unique opportunity.
The reason to come and check out the USF Pro Championships is simply because we teach everything you need to work your way to the top. Again, it's not just about racing, it's about everything that you have to learn to be a race car driver, but also the development we have from car to car, level to level, gives the driver a little bit more every year. It's a really graduated step for up the sport, as opposed to diving into something super fast. This teaches you from a really good place coming out of karting into one of the school series like the Skip Barber Racing School, and then into our USF Juniors program. It's such a planned effort. Everything is set correctly so that on the way up you learn incrementally what you need to get to IndyCar.
On our level, our job is to prepare them mentally, emotionally, media conscious, all that stuff. We have training seminars. We have the race directors who will, especially on the juniors level, will work with the kids and try and explain to them what's going on the racetrack, what they did right, what they did wrong. This is a learning series. They need to learn from their mistakes so that when we deliver them to IndyCar, they're the real deal. They're the finished product.
It's really important as they move up the USF Pro Championships ladder to continue to build on their brand as they get to IndyCar. It's a good way for the drivers to learn what they're going to have to deal with as they get to the big leagues.
It gives them a great training ground from the bottom to the top, how to communicate with your team, how to act, how to be as a person, all the things that are needed to become a professional driver.
You really can work hand in hand with your mechanics to tell them exactly what you need. I've learned a lot in this series of what it takes to be a driver and relay that to the mechanics as far as driving, how the car feels, and I think this series just does a great job with putting the drivers with the right teams and the crew to make that happen.
USF Pro Championships, it does a really good job of educating us on what tracks we're going to be running when we get to the professional leagues. Same thing in Formula One. You run the certain tracks that you're going to race in Formula One, and they do a really good job with that here. There's other series that could lead you on the path to IndyCar, but they don't race on the same tracks as IndyCar does. So USF Pro Championships gives you a little bit of a leg up as a young driver to already know the tracks, so that when you become a rookie in IndyCar, you have a little bit more of an even, playing field with the other pros that you're racing against.
With 3 levels in the USF Pro Championships, we have USF Juniors, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000. One of the key components of the technical side of our sport is the fact that all 3 levels have the same basic chassis in itself. The USF Juniors, USF 2000, very similar race cars with the same engine as well. Larger engine, more horsepower for the drivers in USF Pro 2000. But what we always say is that we want our drivers to get a little bit more of everything as they work their way up the ranks.
We hooked up with Italian race car designer Tatis Race Cars. They are the biggest in the world in junior formula cars, and they've built us an incredible car to our specs. We started with what is a typical Formula 4 chassis, but we strengthened it with a double bulkhead to protect drivers' feet, side intrusion panels. The core of the series is the Tatis race car. The tub is the same on all 3 levels, and a lot of the pieces transfer over from one level to another. So you increase the horsepower on every level, lap times get quicker on every level, but it's all basically the same cockpit and the same controls, same data system, and the drivers can learn as they gradually increase horsepower and go faster.
So the Juniors and the US 2000 are basically the same car, same engine, same gearbox. Where it comes into is the engine is detuned. It has a different restrictor on, which is different horsepower. It has different wheels, different dampers, different uprights, different brakes. From there to the pro level, it's different body work, it's different wings on the car, it's a totally different engine. The first 2 levels, they integrate with each other very good. Going to the next one, the same. Still the same, tubs, suspension, uprights are the same on a pro car, and brakes as a 2000. It just gets into being a little bit more. It's got a bigger gearbox on it, bigger wheels, bigger tires, more horsepower.
So every step we have specifically designed to make sure you're ready to go that next year when you move up a level.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And to handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the
So
years,
welcome back,
we've
folks,
chased
to
down a lot of dreams.
Lucas
Each one
Oil,
leading to the next,
Indianapolis Raceway
all
Park.
the way to our most electrifying.
As again, the drivers getting things underway here for USF 2000. A little bit of a delay there as the wrecker that was taking the machine of Tanner DeFabis back to the paddock had to wait for it to get back to its post here in the racetrack. So, indeed, underway. So a number of different drivers joining us here this particular weekend. Some have moved up from USF Juniors. Another we've seen before who is here again to get things underway, and that is Elliot Cox rejoining his team at Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development. Cox gets his first lap in the books, 116.126 miles per hour. $19 drivers total in the field here. Second lap a little quicker, 117.253. Mexican drivers for D-Force Racing, Patricio Enrico Gonzalez, both joining us here from USF Juniors. They're both top 10 drivers there. In fact, a podium at Barber Motorsports Park for Rodrigo. So we'll see both these drivers, the Gonzalez brothers, spooling things up here now. Jack Jeffers, a point leader coming into the event. 2 markers over Liam McNeely. But again, the story we've talked about, Liam McNeely struggling to get his visa handled. Not able to make it here. Patricio Gonzalez, first driver out here, 21.931. He'll come over here to get his second lap in. Elliot Cox still on top here. Rodrigo Gonzalez now rolling out. Again, these drivers tail the field in points. They ran the doubleheader at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so 21st and 22nd in points respectively. Rodrigo now on the clock. Cox, Rodrigo Gonzalez, Patricio Gonzalez, I believe your top times right now. Elliot Cox still on top with the fast time thus far. Vian Boshoff from South Africa gets his first lap in. Boshoff at 21.224. It's like a total time of 42.707. So 42.303 total elapsed time for Elliot Cox, put him up top right now. 42.7 for Boshoff, 43.2 for Gonzalez, 43.7 for Patricio Gonzalez. Again, 19 drivers set to go. Jack Jeffers lead the points by 2, as I said, over Liam McNeely, but Liam not here with us. Still those visa issues halting him from being able to make it back here to the U.S. The British driver who won the first 5 races in a row, a no-show at Indianapolis, a no-show here as well at IRP. Thomas Schrag back by 13 points from Jeffers. Teddy Musella significantly back as well. He's about, I believe, 43 points, or 53 points rather, behind Jeffers. Rookies 1, 2, 4, 6 with Evan Cooley. Caleb Gaffera there in 7th. Lucas Facuri now on track, his first lap, a 21.600. 2-lap time of a 43.678 puts him currently in the 4th spot. Cox, Boshoff, Gonzalez, Rodrigo, Facuri, and Patricio Gonzalez Pato in the 5th spot here. As we work our way up, Eddie Beswick, former Australian Formula 4 champion. See what Beswick's got. He's now on the clock as well. Beswick 21.187 first lap. Eddie Beswick rolling in here 14th in points right now. Couple of top 10 finishes at IMS. They're starting to get a handle on this thing. This is a brand new program. Synergy Motorsports coming over here, buying a USF 2000 car, getting things dialed in. And Beswick will go to 2nd. 116.317 miles per hour first lap, 116.558, I believe, his second lap. Puts him P2. Cox, the only driver of the 6 who have qualified thus far with 2 laps in the 117 mile per hour range. Cox, Beswick, Bossoff, Gonzalez, Fakiri, your current top 5. Working our way through the order now. Jay Howard Driver Development has a great package here in USF 2000. Tanner DeFabus took it to a race win here last year. The driver from Avon, Indiana, the Canadian Anthony Martella, now behind the wheel. 13th in points right now for Martella. We expect some speed out of him. He sees the green flag from Aaron Likens down here. Martella in that number 9 in the NIN Transport VPS service. Tennis for Jay Howard. He was P1 in the second test session. What's Martella got here in terms of overall pace? 117.349 miles per hour. That's provisional P1 pace right there. You'll need to put the next one in. Quicker on the opening lap. Actually, yeah, faster than Elliot Cox. Indeed. Big second lap, 117.972 miles per hour, 41.978. Total time over the 2 laps. 4/10 quicker than Elliot Cox. So move Martella to P1 in the Jay Howard machine. Sonoma, California's Christian Cameron out next for VRD Racing. The TKO Motorsport, Bitumen Group, Tatis. Just 15 years of age. Ran USF Juniors last year, making his first run here at IRP in the Freedom 75. Working those Continentals. Get them dialed in here. $117.972 miles per hour. Quick lap for Martella. Again, 41.978 total time over the 2 laps. Of course, you use the total time, as we do here, to emulate what they do in pole qualifying for the Indianapolis 500. As you know, it's a 4-lap average at IMS, 2-lap average here at IRP. Cameron's first lap at 21.546 at 114.616 miles an hour. Could have slot him into P5. Yeah, in fact, he'll go to 5th. 42.742 total time for over the 2 laps, 116.516 last lap. Second fastest lap, a really good indication of where you're going to slot in. Ten cars to go, 1 on track, 9 waiting in the wings. Martella, Cox, Beswick, Boshoff, and Cameron, your current top 5. Another driver who looked good in testing, Brad Majman, out there right now to Melbourne, Australia in the Nat Pat Paul Mark Mason's kart class machine. Majman, the rookie. Majman coming in from the F4 program. Let's see what he's got. He'll go on the clock at a 4. Green flag flying. Best lap we've seen so far, 117.972 miles per hour, 20.933. You get into the 20s, you're going to battle. Even, I'd say maybe a flat, 21 flat, you got a chance at it. Majman, what's your first lap? How's it look? How about a 21.293? He'd need a magic lap to take over that top spot from Martella. 21.293. Yeah, we are potentially flirting with a track record. 20.930 is the track record. Anthony Martella, 3 thousandths of a second off. A 20.933 to a 20.930. Folks, the track record here was set back in 2000. These drivers, none of these drivers were born yet when Californian Aaron Justice set that fast lap back in September of 2000. Almost 25 years ago, but we are close. If somebody beats Martella, they're very likely going to be the new track record holder in USF 2000 here at IRP. 20.933 fast lap for Martella. And by the way, Majman slotting in P4 with a 21.206, his second best time. 2-lap average time, 42.500. Just a tenth off of Eddie Beswick. Beswick impressive, though. That Synergy Motorsports team is working hard to get themselves where they need to be. They're planning on trying to build a program here, and I love to see it. They've been up against the hardship of a new car, the teething pains, little electrical gremlins, but they are figuring things out. A couple of top tens for Eddie at Indianapolis. He only did a one-off last year with Exclusive Autosport at Toronto. That'll be the only track he's really super comfortable with. What do we got here for Joshua Lionel? 21.345. Gets a couple of tenths of a second. He may be up into the top 5 as well. He'll need a good lap here for the D-Force driver. Lionel out of the Woodlands, Texas in the BTEC Turbines TWFG insurance car. Again, moving into P5. Solid run there. 42.681 2-lap time. 8 drivers remain on the racetrack. Provisional pole still Anthony Martella, the young driver out of Woodbridge, Canada. Just outside Toronto. Looking forward, of course, like all the Canadian drivers are, for the Honda Indy Toronto event in July. It's going to be a big one. Ayrton Houck out onto the racetrack. Again, one of the other local drivers, Houck, out of McCordsville, Indiana, in the Wings and Wheels Foundation, number 58. Was running second last year when they just lost the rear a little coming through turn number 2, and contact between he and Max Taylor ended both of their days. The speed is going to be here. This driver's got lots of experience, as we know. Former Team USA driver, F1600 race winner. Kenyan Midgets driver. He's good on the oval. Running for Benchmark Autosport, the new team run by his dad, Kevin. Again, if somebody beats Martella here, we're going to likely have a new track record holder. 20.933, the fast lap for Martella, 20.930. Current track record, 25 years it's held for Aaron Justice. Houck at 21.005. That looks good. Can he get down into the 9s or 8s? A new track record would potentially put him to P1. Those Continentals, where they are now for the heat. Now, second lap not as quick, but 2-lap average still puts him P1 by 400ths of a second, 300ths of a second. But he doesn't have the fast lap. He turns down a 20.942, 117.924 miles per hour. Not quite as quick as Martella, but put the 2 laps together, and he's provisional pole. The Benchmark Autosport number 58, P1. 11 cars in. 8 to go. And who do we got here now? Sebastian Garzón. Garzón, the Colombian. Winner last year of the Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series Championship. Brought the scholarship from that program here to USF 2000. The young Colombian sweeping the action in the junior categories last year at the famed Superkarts USA Super Nationals karting event in Las Vegas. Not many drivers have done that. 3, I believe, now, including Sebastian. Currently coming in here sitting in the 8th place in points. 4th at St. Petersburg, 6th at NOLA, 8th at NOLA, 7th at IMS, 17th, really the big thing that hurt him there at IMS in the second race, getting collected in an incident there. He'll come across the line to put his first lap in at a 21.324. Second test session, he was third, trying to find that speed he had earlier. Where is he going to jump to? P6. His second lap, a 21.281. 2-lap time, total time 42.605. Six drivers still to come, I believe. 6 to go. Onto the track now. Out of Charlotte, North Carolina. In the Circle K Bell Racing Electronics Molecule Tatus, 24 of Caleb G. Caleb Gaffera onto the racetrack for his first shot. Big wiggle mid-corner. You saw that. A handful of race car coming through one. He'd have to breathe that throttle to get it back where he wanted to be. We'll see how much that hurts as Gaffera here in the Pabst Racing Machine. Through 3 and 4. Again, how much did that hurt? Let's come into the green. Did it hurt him a little bit in terms of overall pace? What's that first lap look like as he gathered it back up? Lost a bit of the momentum. But the good drivers can get it done. 21.166. That's a good lap. He'll have to go a track record pace. Even more than that to grab the pole position away. But Gaffera, a pretty solid lap. 21.166. Only 3 drivers able to do that on lap number 2. Here comes Gaffera to cap off his 2-lap run. He'll go to third. 21.022. Not able to get below the 21 mark. Only 2 drivers have gotten to the 20s. Hauk and Martella. 5 drivers still to come. Evan Cooley up next. 1 podium finish on the year. 5 top 10s. 1 just outside 11th and a 19th after contact in race number 2 at Indianapolis. Cooley only 12 points behind G3 Argyros for 5th. Driver of McKenna, Illinois. Cooley in the exclusive Autosport number 90. The Brown Brothers Harriman machine. Again, 117.924 miles per hour. The pole speed for the second lap, 117.972, the quickest we've seen out of the P2 man, Anthony Martella. Gaffera had that little wiggle on the warm-up lap, but was able to turn it around and come back to P3. Still 5 drivers coming to try to push him down. Here comes Cooley. First lap here for Evan. He was P6 in the test session. What did he learn? 21.108. I like that too. 21.10. Oh, you got to extract it all. Again, he'll need a track record time to steal the pole away from Ayrton Hauk. These drivers really hanging it out on the ragged edge. How about P4 for Cooley? 116.855, then 116.994 miles per hour. Just under a tenth of a second off of Caleb Gaffera. So right now your top 5 is Hauk, Martella, Gaffera, Cooley, and Cox. Aaron Justice's 25-year track record still stands, but 4 drivers still to come. Left to roll. Teddy Musella, G3 Argyros, Teddy Musella, Thomas Schrag, and Jack Jeffers. The 23 of Argyros from Newport Beach, California on the racetrack. The Positive Beverage Elephant Cooperation Tatus. Rolling down here into turn number 3 and 4. That warm-up lap telling, do they have the confidence in the race car? Is it going to stick up top? I had a really good look at G3 midway through that test session when he put sticker tires on for a quality sim, and he looked really good. Rolled the top. In that test session, he was 10th, but looked good on the stickers. Where is he here? 21.168. A lot of 21.1s coming out here. The drivers rolling off in the top 10. 21.168. Again, he'll need a big lap, another pole. It'll be, a track record lap if he's able to go to P1. How so impressive with a couple of back-to-back laps. G3 goes up to third, right in front of his teammate. And in fact, they were separate about 4 thousandths of a second over 2 laps. Not one lap, over 2 laps. 184 to a 42.188. Oh, he blows the checker, though. He went around again. Yeah, Aaron Likens not happy with that down on the tower, asking G3. He blew the checker. That is a no-no. So Argyros, who was third, 1 extra lap around the racetrack. Hauk still on top. 2-lap time of 41.947. Just over 300ths quicker than Martella. That's 2 laps, 300ths of a second. Here comes Thomas Schrag. It's been a run here. 12th in the opening round at St. Pete, 7th in the second round at St. Petersburg. How about 5 straight podiums for the driver out of Bethel, Ohio? Thomas Schrag for VRD Racing in the number 2. The Doug Mockett and Company Airport Electric Tennis USF 22. Not only that, third at NOLA, 3 straight seconds, and then he banged out that first victory in USF 2000 at Indianapolis. He's now on the clock, Thomas Schrag. Trying to get at it here. What's this first lap look like? Wait for it to pop up for me here. Let me do a refresh on live timing. That's Teddy Musella. That's not Thomas Schrag. That's Teddy Musella. Pardon me. That was Musella who went on track. First lap with a 21.2, I believe. Yeah, 21.283. This is Schrag coming now, the 2 VRD drivers. So I jumped the gun on which driver it was, but for some reason my live timing not popping up. Now it does. Let me refresh it. 7th for Musella. About a 10th of a second over 2 laps behind Elliott Cox. So Musella slots into 7th. Again, mixing up the 2 VRD drivers, my bad. 2 drivers remain. Schrag and Jeffers. McNeely not here once again, his second consecutive race he's missed. I'll tell you this, right now, Ayrton Hauk on top. 2 great laps. Not the best one we saw on the day. That's so far 117.972 miles per hour, a 20.933. But that lap, 3 thousandths of a second slower than the track record. Can Thomas Schrag or Jack Jeffers take it away? Green flag now for Schrag. Teddy Musella at 7th, as I said, coming off a strong second-place finish. He has not finished outside the top 10 since the second race at St. Petersburg, so a great consistent run so far for Teddy Musella. We're going to get a look here at Thomas Schrag. He's going to have to be a flat, I think, if he wants to challenge for the pole. 21.130. Oh, could the little team, Benchmark Autosport, the family team run by Kevin Hauk, his son Ayrton behind the wheel, Don Connor, the engineer who ran with him last year as DC Autosport. Kevin retiring from his full-time job to start Benchmark Autosport. He's got a Kenyan midget team as well with a couple of drivers in that oval program. But could they come away with one here? Schrag goes to 3rd. So it's Hauk, Martella, Schrag, Argyros, and Gaffera, your current top 5. And here comes your point leader. A victory in Indianapolis, backed it up with a 3rd-place finish out of San Antonio, Texas. Jack Jeffers for Exclusive Autosport. And the number 92, Corpay Cross-Border Solutions machine. the last driver to potentially steal the provisional pole away from Ayrton Hauk? Or will the driver from McCordsville, Indiana, get the victory in terms of P1? That's the first thing. That's the first win on the weekend, folks. We talk about how crucial it is to start up front. You're going to make that first check mark, the first win of the weekend. It's pole qualifying. Green flag flying for Jack Jeffers. Our last laps of the day. 2 of them for Jack. Again, a little wiggle there, but stays on the throttle coming through 1 and 2. Hauk, Martella, Schrag, Ardros, and Gaffera. Overall time, just a little over 0.2 of a second, over 2 laps separating those drivers. Here comes Jeffers. We'll know on the opening lap. 21.217. That's not going to be enough. He'd have to put a magic lap in here. Ayrton Hauk, folks, is going to get the pole here in USF 2000. Jeffers has got to think about trying to get himself somewhere in the front couple of rows. He'll need a big lap here, about a 10th off on the last one. He may not slot into the top 5. He'll need a big lap coming across the line. And Jeffers is going to go P9. So just inside the top 10 for Jeffers. Work to do for the young driver to Texas. But how about the Indiana kid, Ayrton Hauk, on the pole position for USF 2000 Benchmark Autosport. Puts it on the top of the timing chart. Hauk with a 2-lap time of 41.947. And Aaron Justice, wherever you are, the track record still stands. Almost pipped by Martello, 0.03 of a second the difference. Ayrton Hauk and Anthony Martello will be on row number 1. Row 2, Thomas Schrag and G3 Ardros. Row 4, Caleb Gaffera and Evan Cooley. That'll be row 3. Row 4, Elliot Cox and Teddy Musella. Row 5, Jack Jeffers alongside Eddie Beswick. Further back, Brad Majman and Sebastian Garzon in row 6. Joshua Lionel, Vian Bossoff, row 7. Christian Cameron, Rodrigo Gonzalez, row 8. Lucas Facuri and Patricio Gonzalez on row 9. 18 drivers set to go in USF 2000, but a fantastic 2-lap consistent run for Ayrton Hauk has put him on the pole position here for the Freedom 75 tomorrow evening. Indeed, a big day, as we know, tomorrow on Friday, all part of the Carb Night Classic. Practice on track for USF 2000 and Pro 2000 at 4:30 and 4:50 respectively. Silver Crown, the Hoosier 100, will run at 7:15. The Freedom 75 for the drivers in USF 2000 set to go at 8:30. 9:30 for the Freedom 90, and we'll cap the day off, of course, with the USAC midget race. But big weekend here for the Freedom 75 and the Freedom 90. A fantastic qualifying run for Matt Clark as he puts himself P1 in USF Pro 2000, looking to try to see if he can bounce back here. Currently coming in, sitting in the 4th spot in points, just 5 markers out of 2nd. But a significant 62 points behind Max Garcia. A victory here for Matt Clark would be big. Same goes for Ayrton Hauk. Remember, coming in here right now, 9th place in points. He's had a pretty good run, a couple of strong top 10 finishes at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A victory for Ayrton Hauk would be big as well. And as I had said before, you start in the top 2 rows, top 3, you have really raised your percentage in terms of coming away with a victory. Drivers all rolling themselves back to the paddock, and there he is right there, the Wings and Wheels Foundation Benchmark Autosport number 58. That is Ayrton Hauk. Some exciting qualifying for sure, ladies and gentlemen, here as we again had some great opportunity to see these young drivers get at it. Many of them their first time here at IRP, their first time experiencing 2-lap qualifying where it's just you and the racetrack, the spotlight, the camera on you as you work your way around this track. Proud of the way all of these drivers did today. Again, we're back tomorrow, practice, and of course the main events tomorrow afternoon, all part of the Carb Night Classic. Those of you who joined us online, we appreciate you tuning in to the broadcast here now. Thank you so much, folks. We are done for the day here from Claremont, Indiana, and Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.
Terrific.